Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido Loca. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about excursions. Now the term excursion, I know primarily through cruising. It's a travel term, and if you look up the definition, the way excursion is defined is a short journey or trip normally associated with a leisure activity. When you say excursion in the cruising circles, it means the thing that you do when you go to a port. So you may be going to Cozumel. The question is, do you have your excursions booked yet? What are you going to do for an excursion? And basically the question means, what are you going to do on your day of leisure when you go to port? Now, if you're new to cruising, that idea may be overwhelming. What am I going to do at port? What is an excursion? Is an excursion one type of thing? Is it another? Well, in this video, I have 10 excursion types for you because everybody has a little bit different excursion personality. You might like one thing that somebody else doesn't like. The cool thing about cruising is the variety, and that holds true even for excursions. So this video, 10 different excursion types. Stay tuned to the end and tell me what your excursion type is. What's your excursion personality? 10 excursion types coming your way. Thanks again for stopping by. If you're brand new here, you enjoy cruising content, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Now let's jump into excursion types. Number one on my list, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Some people's favorite excursion is to be a ship explorer for the day. Let me explain it to you. The majority of the cruise ship will get off at the cruise port. They will go do excursions off of the cruise ship. That leaves the cruise ship slightly empty, and for those people that choose not to get off at port, they have the ship to become ship explorers. Go to that spot that's always crowded, grab that chair at the pool deck, go to that eatery that always has a line, and enjoy a smaller crowd. It's actually one of my favorite ways to do a port. I don't do it at every cruise port, but man, I so enjoy a super empty cruise ship. And so really one of my excursions, one of my little journeys of leisure is to stay on the cruise ship on port day and be a ship explorer. It's also a good time if you're somebody who likes to take pictures or likes to make video. It's a good time to get a glimpse at the ship when it's lit up by sunlight and get to see some cool stuff without a bunch of the crowd. So number one, ship explorer. Now number two on this list, super popular, especially if you're going to hot weathered climates, if you're going to the Caribbean. I call this the fun and sun excursion. Almost every port that you go to in the Caribbean will have some sort of beach break, some sort of beach day opportunity, and essentially it's a day at the beach. You're gonna go there, you're gonna put your feet in the sand, you're gonna get a lounger, you're gonna be able to get food and drink, you're gonna be able to swim, possibly snorkel. All those kind of get your tan on fun activities that involve being out in the sunshine. It's a beach day. It is the fun and sun excursion. If you are a fun and sun type excursion person, you probably already know this. You want to get off the cruise ship as early as possible so you can get a premium spot on the beach. Number three, sometimes it's combined with the fun and sun type excursion, but I'm going to call this the party patrol. One of the big activities in cruising is partying, and by partying I mean getting your drink on. And the cruise ports, they're no stranger to this. Many of the cruise ports will have established venues where you can go and get your drink on for a little bit off of the cruise ship. A lot of the cruise ports have major chains like Margaritaville or Señor Frog's, Bubba Gump, where you can go and get cheap drinks and spend the afternoon listening to music, having some fun, and getting your drink on. And then many of the beach excursions, the fun and sun excursions, will have an all-inclusive alcohol package where you can go not only get your tan on, but you can also get your drink on. It's a very popular thing to do. Get off the cruise ship, explore the local bars, or go to an all-inclusive and get your drinks on. It's the party patrol. It's a popular excursion type. For cruisers, again, you gotta look for it. You know, you might not have to book a specific excursion if you want to knock around on the bars right next to the port, but you might find some excursions that take you to a tequila factory where you can get your tequila tasting on, or some place where you can go see how rum drinks are made. All those play into the idea of getting your drink on for your daily excursion. Another popular one that you'll see at most cruise ports is the bus tour type excursion. These come in a bunch of different varieties. You could be on an open air bus, you could be on a closed air conditioning bus, but the way this excursion works is you're going to meet and get on a bus, and this bus is going to take you around the port, take you to all the highlights. Normally it's a guided tour. Someone on the bus will have a microphone, they'll tell you about all the spots. And another characteristic of this type of excursion is it's usually one of those deals where there's 3 or 4 stops. So they're going to drive you around for several hours, they're going to point out the sights, they're going to talk to you, and then they're going to have some predetermined stops where you can get off and explore, you can get off and go shopping, sometimes you can get off and have some food and drink. But almost every cruise port, there's some way to get a bus tour. And for me, I really like the bus tours. It is a cool way to see a lot. You don't spend a lot of time in any one place, but you do get a good flavor for the port. We've done bus tours at a lot of places. We did the best top 10 in Havana. We've done a bus tour in Key West, Florida. We did a bus tour in Grand Cayman, St. Thomas. It's really kind of the first excursion that we explore, and then when we start to repeat a port, we might go back and do something different. But I really like the idea, pay one fee, see a lot of things, be able to stop and explore a few things, and it's fairly comfortable and not that stressful from a physical exertion situation. Number 5 is an interesting one. It's the cultural immersion tour. These you got to look for a little bit, but there are opportunities when you go to certain places where you can be immersed in the culture. Many of the cruise lines have excursions kind of called give back excursions, where you can go and work at a local charity for the day, where you can work in the community, where you can really be immersed in the culture. And then there's cruise lines that are really focused on immersive cruising. These are usually smaller cruise ships with less passengers, but the idea is that you can go somewhere and be completely immersed in the culture. Traditionally, there's not as many offerings of the immersive tour, and so you've got to book those early before they book up, but almost every cruise port has some sort of be a part of the culture excursion, and I know that appeals to a lot of people, so if that is something that you're into, make sure that you book that early. The next one could be a culture all its own. It is shopping. I tell you what, the cruise lines have it figured out. The port destinations have it figured out. People like to shop. And so at every cruise port, when you get off the cruise ship, you inevitably run the gauntlet of all these shopping establishments. Some of the shopping establishments are repeated from port to port. You have chains in there like Diamonds International, but that all comes from the idea that part of vacation for many people is buying some stuff, is going and looking at stuff and buying stuff, and it is a lot of fun. It's like a treasure hunt. And so shopping in itself is an excursion for a lot of people. This might not be one that you see listed in the excursions on the cruise ship, but the cruise ship does know that you want to go shopping, and almost every cruise line will have a shopping guide, will have a seminar the day before you stop at a port that'll tell you the best place to shop. So if you're somebody that likes to get your shop on, you will be super comfortable cruising, because there is a whole culture around shopping in cruising. A great way to have an excursion day, finding the local places to shop and getting your shop on. Now, I hate that I've waited this far into the list, because I know people that are into this excursion type, they're ready to get to it. Yes, I'm talking about adventure. Do you like the ATV? Do you like the jet ski? Do you want to go tubing in a cave? Do you want to hike to a glacier? These are the folks that enjoy adventure. These are the folks that don't mind exerting themselves a little bit. It's fun for them on their vacation day, on their excursion day, to go and push themselves to experience. I would put zip lining in this. There's a lot of cool things to do on the adventure side, and the cruise lines and third-party excursion companies, they do a good job at catering to folks who like adventure. I know a lot of people that enjoy the adventure on excursion day. This is definitely a fun excursion type, the adventure. I had to sneak this one in. It goes kind of hand in hand with the bus tour, but it can be more extensive than that. It's the folks that like to track down some historical things while you're on your cruise. Going cruising to different places, different cultures, different countries is a cool opportunity to scratch your itch for your history. You can go to Mayan ruins. Again, we went to Havana. We went to Revolutionary Square, where history was changed. Regardless of what your opinion is of that history, we stood in a spot where at a moment in time, the trajectory of a country, possibly the world, changed right there. So it was interesting. It was cool, and it really did scratch that history itch. If you cruise in Europe, you can go to some of the oldest places in the world. You can cruise the Mediterranean. You can go to the Colosseum. There are excursions that will definitely put you in the throes of history and historical moments, and it's a really fun way to spend a day at port on your cruise vacation. Are you into history? There's Excursions for you. Number 9 on my list goes to those people that like to have up-close encounters with animals, creature encounters. Cruising is one of those cool vacations that you can look at almost any cruise port and you can have an adventure with animals. Of course, the popular ones in the Caribbean, you can swim with dolphins and sea turtles. You can get up close with stingrays. You can meet a sloth. You can hug a monkey. Or do you hug the sloth and meet a monkey? Either way, there's a lot of opportunities. I've had parrots on my shoulders. I have monkeys on my head. And even if you don't want to go and be that close, you can go snorkeling and you can see fish. There's a lot of opportunity if you enjoy the environment, if you enjoy nature, if you enjoy hanging out with creatures, hanging out with animals. Cruising provides that opportunity for you, and it's not hard to find an excursion based around the idea of hanging out with animals. We got a cruise in October, and for the first time ever, I'm gonna get to hug a sloth, so I'm kind of excited. And the last one on my list, if you are a foodie, there is no better way to experience food from another culture than cruising. Every cruise port that you go to will have local restaurants where you can sample the local cuisine. The last time we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, somebody local told us of a great restaurant to try, and we went to this little hole in a wall and we had authentic Puerto Rican food. It was awesome. The cruise lines will actually arrange some of these tours. You can look in the excursions. There are excursions that will take you to particular food type destinations. And so you can build your whole port day around trying local cuisine. And I tell you what, if you're a foodie, the cruising is for you. There's a lot of food on the cruise ship, a lot of specialty dining. And then there is also this opportunity to go try food at port. So yeah, if that's what you're into, which look, I am into food. If that's what you're into, you can build a whole cruise around food. So those are 10 different excursion types. I'm trying to think about what I am the most. Probably the one that I've done the most is the bus tour. Things that are interesting to me though is local food, local history, local entertainment. And but as I've been getting my feet wet over the last few years in cruising, I tell you what, I love the bus tour because it gives me a good feel of what's going on in a port. And then the interesting thing about it, if you cruise to the Caribbean multiple times, you're more than likely going to repeat a port. And so after I've gone on the bus tour, now I have a good idea of what to look for the next time that I go. What kind of excursion person are you? What's your excursion personality? What do you enjoy the best? And did I leave anything off the list? That's the interactive part of the video. Leave a comment below. Tell me how you like to excurt. Is excurt a word? Tell me how you like to spend your day at port. Tell me what excursions you like to do. And maybe give some recommendations. Let's help each other out in the community part, in the comments. Share your favorite excursion. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you found the video entertaining and helpful. If so, hit the like button. I got more videos popping up. Make sure you check those out. This is Tony with Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.